snipers. For hours, it rests motionless in slow-moving riverbeds, saving its energy for the attack. And there's more. Covered in a coat of armor-like scales, a strong roll of its body can fend off an attacker or cut through fishing line like a saw blade, an angler's worst nightmare.
Everything's sharp on an alligator gar. It usually will break your line if it wraps up.
February 25, 2006, Love County, Oklahoma. Winter on the Red River is harsh. Fishermen who brave these icy waters are in for a bitter battle.
Not a lot of people can catch a 100-pound fish around Oklahoma.
Sean Chatham spent his life fishing Oklahoma's rivers. Now he wants to help save big-toothed fish, especially the elusive alligator gar. He and his buddies hope to land and tag healthy gar for Oklahoma State species tracking and conservation research. But on this frigid afternoon, after hours casting into freezing waters, the teams only managed to tag a few small specimens.
Oh.
Determined to tag a monster, Sean throws his line into the shallow part of the river. Suddenly, the fisherman feels his line catch on something below. He pulls back sharply as the hook sets.
I got one, guys. Good one? Yeah, it feels like a real good one.
Sean can barely keep the rod from flying out of his hands. And the boat's on the move.
Hang on, he's pulling the boat.
We knew it was a really strong and big fish by just the way it took off. There was four of us guys, the boat, the motor, ice chest, all the tackle and stuff. So it was a good 1,000 pounds it was pulling across the water.
Sean's now certain he's fighting the gar of his life.
Alligator gar?
But each time he pulls the fish close to the boat, a sudden surge sends the gar raging down the river. Sean's locked in a painful tug of war, praying he can outlast the muscular monster and tag it safely before it breaks free.
Yep, that's gator too. And a female.
After an exhausting 30-minute fight, the angler feels the gar begin to tire. Arms aching, he gives a forceful hoist, bringing the fish to the edge of the boat.
There he is, Scotty.
Looking down into the water, Sean was right. It's the biggest gar he's ever seen. But the real battle's just begun.
There you go, Scott.
The fish is so gargantuan, it's too big to lift. The weight could easily pull Sean and his buddies overboard into the snapping jaws of an angry alligator gar.
We knew it was a lot bigger when we seen it. We knew we couldn't quite get it into the boat.
Maneuvering the boat close to shore, Sean leaps onto the bank, pulling the fish up into the mud.
Pull it up, Sean, pull it. Sean, hold him.
The angler's face to face with some of the most frightening jaws he's ever wrestled. The slightest misstep could land Sean in the river, losing his catch or worse.
Careful.
Gar fishing injuries are notoriously bloody.
The mouth's sharp, the fins are sharp, even the scales on an alligator gar are sharp.
Sean's buddies jump in to help. Working together, they push the massive catch onto the bank.
Get it, got it. It's on the bank.
At last, after a fierce struggle of men versus mammoth gar, the gar gives in.
All right, good job. Good job, boys. All right, look at that one. Good one.
At over 2 meters long and nearly a full meter around, the fish dwarfs the men and takes all hands to handle. The massive fish tips the scales at over 84 kilos. A new Oklahoma State record. Unfortunately, the tired gar didn't survive the catch. But Sean's tag and release efforts continue, hoping to help the conservation of an ancient biting species, now fighting for its future. January 14th, 2009. Back in the Amazon's Big Tooth Ground Zero, ichthyologist and tooth specialist Justin Grubich and his guide Johnny Hoffman have just hooked a powerful pacu.
Hey!
Good fishing.
That is awesome.
A creepy-looking close relative of the piranha, the notorious pacu is a crushing machine. 2 solid rows of tightly packed teeth trap food in a vice grip. Thick jaw muscles generate kilos of force. Pacu are known as frugivores, fish that feed on fallen fruits and nuts. Yet make no mistake, pacu may not have a craving for carnage, but these teeth and jaws are built like pulverizing nutcrackers.
So these teeth create a lot of contact points, distributing force across these food items. And the jaw is perfectly designed to transmit a lot of bite force through those teeth. That creates huge pressures on each of those little mini chisels that allow them to break into those tough food items.
And zeroing in on its mouth, there's no mistaking why these teeth look so frighteningly familiar.
So Johnny, come help me hold this fish a second.
Here, a human skull model reveals the scary similarities.
So these jaws are actually built quite similar to ours. They have a fixed upper jaw like we do. Over the top here, it doesn't move at all, but they have this mobile lower jaw down here, and that's what generates all the bite force.
But Justin wants to know more.
I gotta make sure this fish doesn't bite my fingers off.
No 2 jaws are built exactly the same. To appreciate big-toothed fish, you have to measure how much power they're truly packing in their own unique bite.
So we're taking a dental imprint of the teeth here so we can get an estimate of the size of the teeth. That'll tell us basically how much force is being transmitted through those teeth, if we can get a good rudimentary shape of those teeth.
Capturing the exact shape, form, and wear and tear of teeth in a dental imprint reveals precisely how bite force impacts as it makes contact.
It can really transmit high bite forces into high bite pressures, and that's the point where the tooth actually pierces and impales into the prey item.
Finally, Justin and Johnny move quickly to tag the fish.
147.
A lot of these fishers are losing habitat really quickly because of deforestation. This tagging effort helps us provide critical data on habitat usage and movement patterns.
After recording the tag number, they put the pacu back in the water.
Very strong fishing.
But Justin has another fish to find, the ultimate big-toothed monster, the vampire fish. One look at the vampire reveals a chilling resemblance to one of the most fascinating fanged killers of all time. 400 million years ago, no swimming prey could survive this behemoth beast, the Dunkleosteus. Stretching over 6 meters long, one of the first creatures to carry a mouthful of jutting blades, its so-called teeth were actually an extension of its skull, sharpened to razor points. Today, though not a direct Dunkleosteus descendant, the legacy of these terrifying prehistoric teeth live on in astounding specimens like the vampire fish. But the vampire's an elusive target. With bad weather looming, the scientist fears his expedition may be running out of luck.
The sky's about to open up right now. Looks like we might get a little bit wet.
In a battle of man versus river killer, can they conquer the vampire in the midst of a raging rainforest storm? In a world of big-toothed whoppers, these are the speed demons. Turbocharged ambush predators, they tear into prey in a blur of destruction. So fierce, their name's synonymous with ruthless hunter, the barracuda.
The actual strike of a barracuda can be completed in about 1/100th of a second. Super fast. The human eye only sees it about 30 hertz. So you can barely actually see it happen. That's how fast a barracuda is.
Natural-born killers from day one, barracuda babies are on their own. Nurturing is not a natural instinct for their predatory parents. Young barracuda form protective gangs. But once they're grown, it's every barracuda for himself. Able to reach over 1.5 meters long, 45 kilos, a Barracuda's biting jaws sport an assassin's array of teeth, each with a different deadly design. Piercing front teeth grasp and hold. Small, tightly packed upper teeth slice like a serrated blade, and larger bottom spears finish the job. Add powerful jaws, and it makes for a crisscrossing chomp with tremendous force. And to catch prey, barracuda can swim like a torpedo, up to 58 kilometers an hour. For an angler, it all adds up to a fearsome, biting, fighting fish, almost too fast to catch.
The barracuda is a real predator, long, fast, and just an exciting fish.
March 22nd, 1992, Maui, Hawaii. Fishing fanatic Dean Hayashi arrives at his favorite nighttime camp spot. He hopes to reel in a popular local jackfish, the giant trevally. But he has no idea an ominous ocean attacker is waiting to take him for the ride of his life. Dean sets up his fishing poles and attaches an alarm bell to each rod.
Well, those bells have to be huge, loud, to get us up from a deep sleep.
Passing the time, Dean prepares dinner, but nothing's biting. He gives up for the night, settling down to sleep. At the break of dawn, the clang of the bell sets the angler's heart racing. Leaping from his truck, his fishing line screams out. He's hooked something big.
On the initial strike, the drag went out, and you could hear it, the ratchet go zzz, zzz. Oh, that was exciting. Every fisherman just loves that sound.
Dean carefully picks his moment and jerks back on the rod. As he feels the hook set, the fish bursts out of the water. Dean is stunned. It's no trevally. It's a behemoth barracuda.
It explodes out of the water, and I couldn't believe it. It was so big, and I've never seen anything that big.
The fighting fish takes off, charging back and forth, repeatedly leaping in the air. Time is not on the fisherman's side. He's terrified the fish's scissor-like jaws will slice the line in two, even with a steel leader.
I kept thinking, please don't cut, please. Or my friends will never believe me.
And Dean has an even bigger fear. So close to shore, the line might snag on rough terrain. To keep it free, he needs better leverage from higher ground. Fishing from a rocky outcrop's extremely dangerous.
The rocks and the waves, and once in a while guys fall off and get hurt badly.
Reeling hard as he can, his upper body burning, Dean gets the fish closer to shore. It's even bigger than he imagined. He's overwhelmed, and there's no one around to help. Dean's losing his strength. He knows his only chance is to hold on and hope to catch a break from the perfect wave, bringing the fish to him.
I just waited. I was tired. The wave hit it and brought it up.
Wasting no time, Dean hauls up the line in a blur. But with a barracuda, keeping your distance can mean the difference between keeping and losing a finger.
I have a 6-foot leader, so of course I grabbed the leader. I'm not getting anywhere close to the teeth.
At last, with a final hoist, victory. He's got it. The mammoth catch measures 1.8 meters, weighing 35 kilos, a new Hawaii state record. To honor the fish's strength and spirit, Dean commissioned a traditional Japanese fish painting called a gyotaku.
I have that print on my wall at home. Something I won't forget, ever.
Unfortunately, barracuda aren't on the endangered species list. Yet, despite their reputation as furious fighters, barracuda aren't invincible. Their biggest challenge? Growing up.
The juvenile phase of barracudas grow in estuary environments.
Wetland regions and river deltas known as estuaries are barracuda growing grounds. Widespread efforts must be made to preserve our wetlands, allowing juvenile barracuda to grow into big, biting adults. In the fight to protect big-toothed whoppers, scientists head to the front lines where they live, breed, and kill. Plunging deeper into the Amazon rainforest, ichthyologist Justin Grubich and his guide Johnny Hoffman have already tagged and imprinted the bizarre-looking teeth of a human-like pacu. January 18, 2009. As time for their mission's running out, Justin's determined to find a saber-toothed whopper named after a monster, the payara, the vampire fish.
It can open its mouth very wide, allowing it to eat prey almost half its own size. And that's why the payara's mouth is extremely dangerous.
Justin wants to gather vampire tooth impressions to help reveal how these hunters are adapting to a changing food chain and fighting to survive. The expedition comes to a secluded spot near the Mato Grosso border, Payara country. But dark clouds and thunder don't bode well. Payara like fast-moving water. Yet finding these tough fighters in water-churning bad weather is next to impossible. The payara earns its vampire nickname with a set of 2-inch daggers thrusting up from its bottom jaw.
And the advantage of those long fangs and sharp edges is as they sweep that through the swift currents, it increases the chances that they're actually going to impale a prey item on those fangs.
Buffered with enamel, the hardest biological substance on Earth, these biting blades stay hidden inside pockets running the length of the payara's skull. A payara never draws its stabbing swords until it's about to draw blood. And from tail to tip, streamlined, pointy-headed payara are designed for maximum predator potential.
Payara is a narrow-shaped jaw because they need a narrow-shaped body to be able to move quickly through that really swift water environment. Yeah! It's muy bonito, Johnny.
Yes.
But now, as the team's caught in the middle of a raging storm with no payara, Johnny proposes a new plan, a secret fishing spot located 50 kilometers through dense jungle. The men head to base camp for a night's rest before facing their final and toughest test. January 19th, 2009. Fighting crushing heat and flesh-searing mosquitoes, the men hike through rugged terrain. At last, after a long journey upriver, the expedition reaches the edge of the Amazon jungle. Here, the river courses with killer rapids.
I'm no river guy, but it's got to be a class 3 or class 4 right there. And this is where the payara come up. They love this really swift, fast water.
Okay, no action. Walk in the forest. Very difficult.
Right now, they don't seem to be on, so we're going to actually move to a spot even farther upstream that's even more intense in terms of the amount of water that's flowing through here. Okay. Hey, watch. I'm out of breath, but I am driven by adrenaline. Johnny's taking me to this secret spot. We're going to fish for the vampire fish, the giant payara.
Justin notices a man-made marker.
Here we have a survey marker for a potential dam project. The payara that we're going to be fishing for up here have traveled thousands of kilometers up this tributary to spawn in the headwaters. You put a dam project in there and it could really impact the population.
Dams are responsible for 90% of Brazil's power supply. Some see hydroelectric power as one of the future's most promising renewable energy sources. Others disagree. The effect of a dam on the environment can be devastating. The group presses on through forbidding landscape to their final destination. The Sete Rapids.
This is the spot, Johnny?
These turbocharged speeding waters are the fish equivalent of the Autobahn, a perfect vampire fish hunting zone. The men pull out their gear and cast. Payaras are active hunters. Luring one takes more than flinging food into the river. Justin uses Johnny's tried and tested technique. Casting upstream, he allows his bait to flow with the water. Then he jerks it back to mimic the quick-darting small fish payara love to hunt. Justin feels a sudden strike. He acts fast to control the fishing rod, but as quickly as the fish attacks, the line goes slack. Reeling it in, Justin's bait is sliced in two.
Big fish.
Repeatedly, the bait falls victim to the slicing snipers underwater. Payara attacks so swiftly, they can easily rip away a meal before an angler can set his hook.
That's a hard fish to hook.
But before returning to the United States, Justin's determined to land a vampire payara in the heart of the Amazon. He casts again further upstream. All at once, his line begins to vibrate. Justin moves quickly. This time, he's got it hooked.
All right, now we're talking.
Fighting against the currents, Justin keeps tension on the line. He knows at any moment, the darting fish could leap into the air, shaking the hook from its bony mouth. Muscling the fish closer to the rocks, Justin makes a scary discovery. The fish is now rushing towards him. If the line rubs against the rocks, it could snap.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Justin races to change position, almost tangling in Johnny's line.
Yes.
Watch out.
Then, with a final, forceful pull, he's got his vampire fish.
Really exciting. This one's still alive. Oh, I don't want to get my hands too close to his mouth. He could impale my hand, go right through my hand with those sabers. Unbelievable. Magnificent fish. Monster teeth. Unbelievable.
The sheer length of the vampire's teeth is terrifying.
So this is why it's actually called the vampire fish. It has these two razor-sharp fangs, and I can feel they actually have edges on them. These edges are really important for me able to pierce into the prey items as they go after them with that huge strike, that jaw just flying through the water. Amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I've got to be really quick now to get the dental imprint because these fish don't last long out of the water. I got to be very careful he doesn't shake his head. We just got an imprint of the shape of the teeth. I can put this into a computer program and estimate the area of those teeth. That'll tell me how much bite pressure the jaw actually generates through the mechanism of the lower jaw. But really amazing fish.
Johnny moves fast to release the fish. After a moment of rest, the fighting vampire shoots back into the rushing rapids, ready to skewer its next meal.
Good fishing. Big ass fishing. Go fishing.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good fishing.
Happy time.
Justin and Johnny are hopeful. Such studies will help increase awareness about these fish, their feeding habits, and the importance of protecting big-toothed species around the world, paving the way for protective policies, helping declining fish populations rebound.
It was a real trial to get here, but it was so worth it. Finally caught big fish with the big teeth in just one of the most magical, pristine spots I've ever been in. Really mission accomplished. It's just awesome.
Big fish with big vampire teeth. Whether for adventure, study, or food, each incredible encounter brings us face to face with some of nature's most ferocious and fascinating creatures. And as we fight for their survival, we marvel at their power to devour with mouths built to kill. Hooked. Monster Fish Big Teeth.